Don't you fucking hate it when you haven't even begun filming and the lights have already fucked up your makeup? Well, what are you playing today, Necro? Fucking kids game. Fuck else would I play? Ubisoft used to be one of my go-to developers. They were always willing to tackle new ideas and even weren't afraid to experiment with them. Take Rayman, for example. A game with only really 5 mainline titles and so many goddamn spin-off that it's fucking magical that it's not being run as a mascot to rival even Mario. Starting off as a 2D platformer of a relatively insane difficulty, its second outing would immediately make the jump to 3D, and the trend would continue with the third installment of the game, and then something awful happened. And that would unfortunately stall the main series for 8 fucking years until it would finally make a massive comeback and a return to 2D with Rayman Origins, which I never played. 2 years later, however, we would get Rayman Legends installment number 5, which supposedly not only improved on the formula introduced by Origins, but ended up including a massive chunk of the levels as well. The game had a demo available and showcasing 2 very fantastic levels, convincing me to buy the game 2.5 years later. Yes, it was a complicated time. You see, Ubisoft has this reputation. Creativity, new ideas, expanding on what people want instead of shoveling broken buckets of fuck at us, are not in their current MO. Used to be, but not anymore. However, every now and again we get to see them branching out and letting people make creative little things, like Trials, or Child of Light, or No More Heroes, and of course fucking Rayman. And speaking of creativity, Origins and Legends run on what is called the UbiArt framework. Essentially, it's a program that makes converting what looks like Photoshop drawings into massive, detailed, and finely animated games. That little fact there allows for small teams to create some pretty big things. So, what about it? Why the fuck does it matter? Well, let's go ahead and jabber like a moron about Rayman Legends. Nintendo, the absolute kings of platformers, and yet their mainline 2D series of Mario games can't even hold a fucking candle to what we have going on here. Legends plays pretty fucking simply. Hold button to run, press button to jump, hold again in midair to slow your fall, another button to attack, and that's it. And yet it squeezes a level of depth out of that simplistic gameplay that the entirety of New Super Mario Bros. Line has failed to touch on. Not to mention the simplest concept of resetting. In New Super Mario, you die, you exit the level, and have to sit through all of that loading again. Rayman? Quick screen wipe, back to the checkpoint, come on, we've got work to do, go finish the level now. Though they did take the bubble effect in case you're playing on multiplayer. While running will help you get through levels quicker and is needed for some segments, the game demands patience and exploration from the player, meaning you'll be spending most of your time walking. However, running and jumping over pits aren't all you need to do, and the game will see you gliding your way through updrafts for entire levels, completing wall jump puzzles, sliding down hills for fun, and engaging in little combat here and there. So far so simple, right? Fucking wrong! Rayman got its start as a brutal little bitch, and Origins brought it back to its beginnings by introducing a strong mixture of gameplay types and throwing more and more obstacles in your way. The absolute ass controls for swimming and gliding become all the more fun when you have to navigate tight-ass corridors. But all that's nothing new, so what the fuck does this game do that made me purchase it on 3 fucking platforms? Well, I'm glad you asked, Kali, four-armed goddess of war. Yeah, I know you're watching. Charm. Charm is what it brings to the table. Not only are all the levels and foregrounds highly detailed with their own distinct personalities and themes, but backgrounds have a level of depth to them that not even Nintendo ever touches on. They're not just backdrops, they're multifaceted layers with their own animations and shit to see. Sometimes you even go back into them, though not really that often. The game's animations are dynamic and expressive. Tiny changes in position or facial expression are given a level of emphasis you used to really only see in 2D fighting games. Each of the 4 characters you can choose from has their own distinct personalities and animations, and a fuckload of different skins to suit your mood. Base Barbara is best girl. Enemies too are expressive, with toads shrieking at the sight of you, these massive brutes who grunt and laugh at your puny form and shriek like little girls when you smack them with your axe. Livingstons, torturing lums, massive monsters that chase you through finales and you in turn wail on. One of my favorites is this massive luchador who elbow drops at you through a cake while shouting luchadore for some unknown reason. Worlds are distinct, theming is very strong, and each world won't just have one theme, it will use multiple ones to have different styles within a single level. The forest has castle portions and dungeon sections, the ocean level has Splinter Cell style stealth sections and an underwater base. Olympus Maximus has generic Greek mythology, more generic Greek mythology, and whatever the fuck this thing is supposed to be. And each world is capped off with these absolutely wonderful musical levels that tie some popular tracks into gameplay, making small rhythm segments celebrating your victory over the threat of that particular world. And once you've completed all those, the game offers a final world where they decide to fuck with the player on those rhythm levels.
Jesus, some sucking Christ, I've been at this goddamn level for 8 hours. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to throw static on the screen every jump?
Just go back and play the original. Nothing changes. Learn the rhythm. It's not that fucking hard.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
It's easy for me to do, and I'm practically retarded. Learn to play the fucking game.
Don't give me that shit. I'm just a figment of what's left of your fractured psyche, created in a final attempt at self-preservation, so I don't need any of it.
Whoever designed those goddamn nightmare levels, you're a glorious bastard and I fucking hate you. Whereas Mario likes to make its levels distinct by going from kingdom to desert to water, etc., Legends manages to have 2 worlds set in a pseudo-forest that are visibly distinct not only from each other, but from the forest level in Origins, have their own personalities and entirely different styles of play. Options are king. If you're just looking to get to the end credits, you can probably do so in a handful of 8 hours or so. But if you're looking to 100% the game, you're looking at scouring each level for a minimum of 10 minutes each, and that's if you've completed it before, like I have. The game likes to hide teensies from you, and then when you discover the location, gives you a canned ooh, as though you did something super cool, and it makes me feel like a big boy. And then there are the level invasions. If you want to beat your head into a wall until you have a coma, go ahead and play these. The Rayman levels get fucking retarded difficult. And once you've completed everything Legends has to offer, there's a series of Origins levels that you unlock as you play through the game. You get the boss levels from the game, giving you a nice finality to those worlds as well, and it's all wrapped up in this nice little package. Murphy, of course, makes his return and helps you in some levels, and if you buy the game for the Wii U or the Switch, you get an entire series of those levels where you play as Murphy and help guide the AI through the game. A few are broken, however, and you can't 100% them. 100% them. Which drove me pretty much insane. But can you imagine it? No, because you really don't have to. A platformer with a distinct identity, animations, and characters that scream personality, art designed for levels that is unique and memorable, distinct worlds, a soundtrack that follows motifs per world but never outstays its welcome or becomes repetitive, and then giving you a massive chunk of the previous game just because. Hey Ubisoft, why haven't we gotten another one on consoles or PC? And 2, what the fuck are you doing, Nintendo? Ubisoft is a company that I have such a tumultuous history with. They've made some of my absolute favorite games. They also shovel absolute shit at a rate that makes EA jealous. If you haven't played Origins or Legends yet, they're getting cheaper by the day, and they're on the platform of your choice, so quit wasting your time. Because you kind of need to play them in order to truly appreciate how much potential they waste on those fucking rabbids and shitty dancing pandas. Go fuck yourself, Ubisoft! I'm the TheNecroswanson, and you can do the thing I just told Ubisoft to do.